Broadcast First, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
It's a hot one out there. Temperatures are in the 90s, and just a few minutes ago when we had our latest refresh, we saw some spots that were still actually at 94 in places like Champaign. Now it's down to 92. 92 also in Danville, as well as 92 in Paris and Lincoln as well. We've got upper 80s everywhere else and 86 in Mattoon. But it's been nice and sunny today. Our Bratcher weather camera on our roof and dock island overlooking Champaign shows that we do have a lot of blue skies out there with winds that have been definitely noticeable today. It's at least helping to move things around with those gusts out of the southwest, sometimes approaching 25, 30 miles per hour. So it will still be warm and windy for the rest of the evening, and it will remain mild overnight tonight, but we have the chance for some storms for the day tomorrow. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
Dozens of people arrested for looting were in court today. What happened outside of the courtroom while they were being arraigned? Plus, nearly a dozen fires broke out in one city in the past 48 hours. The latest on the investigation into what started all of them. And 4 people were killed in a crash with a semi. What the driver has been charged with.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 5.
If the only reason you're in jail is because you can't afford to be out, that's a problem.
Volunteers in Champaign are trying to help the people arrested after Sunday's violence. Nearly 30 were taken into custody with charges ranging from mob action to burglary. Good evening. I'm Jennifer Roscoe. They were all in court for the first time today. Some pleaded not guilty. The others are waiting for their next hearing. Bonds range for the most part anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000. All 27 were arrested Sunday night into Monday morning, almost all from Champaign County. 20 of them were charged with burglary, others for things like battery to a police officer and resisting a police officer. These arrests happened mainly at Piccadilly Liquors on John Street, the Circle K on Springfield, and City Trends on Prospect Avenue. Now, while they were in court, a group of volunteers came out to offer support. They're part of an organization that helps pay bail.
If folks are out here trying to protest and stuff like that, then of course we know that they're probably going to need more help, especially since they're mass protests, which means there'll probably be mass arrests. So especially during COVID-19, there's going to be a lot of people in close quarters in that jail.
Now, we talked to a woman whose friend was arrested for mob action. She says her friend's bond turned out to be $50,000. That would mean she has to pay $5,000 to get out. Her friend told me she thinks she thinks it's unfair that money should be tied to freedom. Now, the group that stood out there handing out flyers to help with bail has been around for 2 years. They say they're also willing to help people who need help with bail for any reason. And for a full list of the charges and arrests and where the people are from, just head to our website, WCIA.com. The Springfield mayor is reporting protests in the capital city remained peaceful throughout the night. Protesters in Springfield gathered for hours on the steps at the State House and around the city yesterday. The mayor says there hasn't been any cases of looting or violence. Speakers called for no violence after they finished. The Decatur Fire Department responded to 4 fires overnight, and it was the second night in a row the department had a high number of calls. WCIA 3's HENKE has more.
This house behind me was the site of one of 11 fires that the Decatur Fire Department has responded to in the last 48 hours alone. That high volume of calls kept crews up all night and spread thin across the city.
Ability to handle the volume of calls that's coming in all at once is kind of difficult, but you know, the guys work hard, they do the job, we try to bring in reserve apparatus, staff them, get the people, you know, to the different stations when we can, and so far everybody's doing a good job. 4 of the fires happened from late Monday night into early Tuesday morning. Chief Abbott says his crews didn't finish up until about 4 a.m. The department called in the state fire marshal to investigate, and while there is no connection yet to other vandalism around the city from the last couple of nights, Abbott did say that 10 of the 11 fires were very suspicious, and he said they could be arson. He also said there's no evidence to say that they are linked to any of the protest in Decatur. We're not having any problem at the fires with the crowds or anything like that. I mean, they've kept their distance, they've been respectful, and you know, haven't given us any problems. Reporting in Decatur, I'm HENKE, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Chief Abbott says the fire at Starship Billiards in Decatur from early Monday seemed to be electrical. The other ones, he says, he believes are arson. One person was taken to the hospital after a car and motorcycle crashed in Champaign today. It happened on Bloomington Road, close to Prospect Avenue. Police say the motorcyclist was taken to the hospital but is expected to survive. That person was ticketed for causing the crash. And we have an update on the crash in Decatur that killed 4 people. The driver has been charged with driving drunk. Police say 24-year-old DEMETRIC DIXON ran a red light and was hit by a semi yesterday morning. It happened at East Grand and North Water Streets. Police say DIXON ran from the car and later went to the hospital where he was arrested. There were 5 passengers in the car. 4 of them have died. Officials have identified the teenager who was recovered from a pond in Rochester. Rescue crews were called to the pond off of Minder Road. 18-year-old Devin Bikuliza was pronounced dead at the scene. Officials say the caller and Bikuliza had been fishing. They say he was trying to swim across the pond when the accident happened. The U of I is cutting back because of the pandemic. Who is taking the lead and taking a salary cut? Plus, health departments have a warning for protesters, what they want them to do as soon as possible.